Typical. 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 Hello, my name is Leon Lacouvé, the grandfather.
Hi, I'm Gary Richards. Why do I even have to be here tonight?
Well, you have to be here because I asked you at least to contemplate a tiny bit about life and give me your 3 major affirmations. And you should be saying these, every day when you wake up at 6, right?
Oh, I was working all day.
Ah,
I'm tired.
what do you know about work? Honestly, come on. So, anyhow, I will tell you my 3 affirmations, okay? And I say them every morning and they're important to me.
Well,
right?
What's an affirmation?
Well, an affirmation is something you kind of reaffirm your day, in a sense. You say things that help your mind become positive for the day.
So basically you're lying to yourself.
Oh, I never lie.
No, you're lying to yourself.
If you have that kind of mentality or that kind of personality, why do you even bother with an affirmation? Affirmations are meant to be positive, Gary. They're meant to help you nurture your day, right?
Like I'm positive I will have a bad day.
Well, I went to India to a yoga conference, listened to a guru there, and he said, in the day when you wake up, you can decide in the morning whether it's going to be here comes the yawn already. What are you partying last night, drinking whiskey again?
I was working.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Working till midnight.
I'm sure. Tell that to somebody who cares or believes you, for starters. Now, anyhow, my 3 affirmations. You know what they are now? What they mean? So, me.
Yeah, lies you tell yourself to make yourself feel good.
They're not lies.
Right.
They're not lies.
I got it.
I'm 65 and I'm not lying to myself. I don't have to. Right? I've done all the lying to all the girls and all. I've done all that nonsense. Right? Maybe you're planning to learn some things from me, maybe, but I don't have to. So number 1,
learn from you.
Yeah, some things about
I don't
girls.
think I need to learn from you.
I think you probably got to learn a lot from me, but I don't want to go on. Anyhow, let me tell you my 3 affirmations. I wake up usually around 6 or so in the morning. The first thing I say is literally thank God for another day. Last night, at 65 years old, 10 million people did not wake up. So
That's not funny. Is that funny?
No, it's not funny.
Is it funny? People didn't wake up.
It's not funny at all, but it sounds funny because I did. I tricked somebody, maybe God or whomever, right? I did wake up. Thank God I woke up, right? Number 1. Okay, number 1. Number 2, I thank once again the good Lord or whomever that I have positive, loving relationships in my life, right? For my children, for my parents, for my siblings, for my deep friends. I pray for you, thank God for you a little bit. I don't know why I say that, but it's true, right? So that's the second one, right? Why are you yawning? This is very emotional for me to tell something here.
I told you I was working so late last night.
Tell somebody who cares. Gosh. And the third one I think is perhaps in a way the most important. Thank God that I can act in the world. I'm given an opportunity to actually do something, create some good, help people, spread the things I believe in. So those 3 things are very important to me. Number 1, to be thankful for life. Number 2, to be thankful for my loving relationships. And number 3, boy, you're so interesting.
I'm
Leon,
trying.
yeah, right.
Trying.
Tell somebody who cares.
Sorry.
Gosh. But the third one is thank God I can act in the world. I can do something
What do
today.
you mean act in the world?
Well, I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of talking. A lot of lecturing.
Yeah, you do a lot of talking. You're a little long-winded here.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Well, then learn something.
Learn
something.
Hey.
What are your 3? What are your 3?
3
affirmations?
Affirmations.
Yeah. 4 syllables.
Lies
4
that we
syllables.
tell ourselves.
They're not lies. Gary, they're not lies. They can't be lies. Don't say them if they're lies.
Success rides the coattails of failure.
Wow.
Success rides the coattails of failure.
Like this? Like this?
Well, you know, you're never going to be successful, like me, unless you fail first.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have certainly rather sadly experienced that in my life. Failure and pain. And yeah, for sure.
So that's my first one.
Yeah, it's good.
If I had to do a second one, well, see, I told you, you don't give us enough credit. That's the problem right there. People like me, we work all day, we work all night, we generate money in our sleep, we run adverts on social media to get likes, to publish ideas and promotions.
Oh, God, you got me yawning now too. Oh my God,
Why are you yawning at?
Oh, gee, tell somebody who cares. God, you worked so hard. Where's my violin? I worked so hard.
Oh, come on, why are you making fun of me?
What's the third one?
Well, no, I'd even say my second one.
Oh, it sounded like you did. Sorry. Okay, what's the second one?
Well, if I had to do another one, I guess I would say something like, without hard times, there are no good times. Only mediocre times.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I can appreciate a nice, good night's sleep because the last few nights I've been working my tail off, staying up late, running adverts. Yeah. So tonight when I go to bed, if I get a good night's sleep, it will be a good night's sleep.
I don't know if I believe you. Anyhow, the third one. What's the third one?
You just keep laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. I mean, this is really. I mean, this is a Shakespearean play here. The drama. I worked so hard. You know,
I don't know. I don't even know why I'm here.
But
I just want to go home.
Yeah,
I have things to do.
But your father asked me to talk to you. He quote unquote talks some sense into you, whatever that means, right?
You old guys, you don't understand us.
First of all, I'm not an old guy. I might have an
old
body.
Geezers.
No, I might have an old body, but inside here is a young 31-year-old dynamo.
Oh, don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass you. You're embarrassing me too.
Oh gosh.
Alright. I guess for a third affirmation, affirmation. I guess it would be, it's not that I want to do something, rather that I will do something. You know.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference right there.
Yeah.
I don't think in terms of wanting to do something. I tell myself, I'm going to do this, and then I do it. None of this, I want to be a young guy again. I will. I will do it. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, well, no. I tease you, but I think that's great. You know, because I think to a very large extent, you know, why I'm so interested in actually talking to you, really a number of reasons, but the major one is that from younger people or young people, you learn so much, right? But I think people of your generation and even younger are just inundated with the electronic media, and I think it's really difficult to gain a sense of where you're going because you're bombarded with all of this nonsense continuously, right? Mm-hmm. It absolutely never ever stops. What are you looking at there?
Huh.
Like what are you? I'm talking to you and you're playing on your blessed cell phone. What is this about? What's this for?
I'm just checking my messages.
You see, there we go. Totally distracted, floating away.
Oh,
you know?
Just had another sale.
Yeah.
Yep, there's just another sale.
Yeah.
Good.
Tell somebody who cares. I don't care.
Well, it's my online store.
I don't care. Good for you. Good for you. I think if you can make money at it, bless you. I think most people don't, but they talk about it and they say they do. I think
Let me check my Facebook ads.
Yeah, I think it's an enormous scam
Ooh.
myself. That's just nonsense.
No,
Very few
what
people
were you
make.
saying? Sorry, what were
No,
you saying?
I think
I wasn't listening.
I think few people make any money off of electronic media, social media. I think some do, and they're lauded and they're held up as the superstar, the Kim Kardashians with like 14 million followers or whatever. But I don't think most people are really accessing the media, social media. Do you think so? Do you think they are?
Yeah, they are. Well, it's the e-commerce.
Yeah, but
It's the e-commerce.
Yeah, but is it? Pardon me. Is it really as big as we're led to believe? Is the question.
All right. Well, think about this. So, in the connected world, so the parts of the world where everyone's connected to the internet,
Right.
almost everyone's going to have a social media account, Facebook, or some other equivalent,
Okay.
Instagram,
Okay.
Twitter.
Okay.
So, if you're running advertisements, if you have an online business, all right, an online business, and you're selling widgets, for example,
Okay.
and do you know what I mean by a
I do.
widget?
I
You
do. Yeah, I do.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, positive. I know what a widget. Yeah, a widget. Yeah, I think the word was coined in the 20s, so I have to know what a widget is. You know?
Whoa,
Yeah. Do you know what "blow this pop stand" means? You ever heard that expression? Let's blow this pop
Oh,
stand.
it must be a Canadian
Yeah,
thing.
it's not a Canadian thing. It's an American. It's an
Definitely
American.
a Canadian
No,
thing.
it's an American thing.
Well, it's
American
lucky
thing.
that I'm Irish.
Yeah, yeah. It's an American thing because we didn't have pop stands in Canada. We were too civilized. Yeah, so.
But yeah, so if you think about that, so you have an online shop,
Okay.
you're selling widgets,
Right.
and then how do we get traffic into your shop?
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and that's where the online advertising goes.
Okay.
So,
I have
For
a question.
example-
I have a question. Oh, go. No, please. You finish, then I have a question.
okay, just don't forget.
I won't forget.
Oh, I'm no worry.
I won't forget. No.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay.
So, you're on Facebook and you start doing a search for widgets, blah blah blah, and then because you're searching these keywords, the advertisements for my shop are going to appear on your Facebook, and then you say, "Oh yeah, I wanted to buy a widget," and I see Gary Richards, he has this shop, so then click, takes you to the shop, my shop, and then you buy widgets from me and not the guy down the street
Okay.
who's selling widgets.
Okay.
And because this is the social media is used so much, you can access more people cheaper and faster than you can by regular print advertisements or something else.
Okay. Okay.
So it's easy,
Okay.
efficient,
Yeah.
fast,
Good. Can I ask my
and
question?
the money
now?
comes in.
Can I ask my question?
Sure.
You ready? Okay. Do you know anyone who's won the lottery?
Who's won the lottery?
Yeah. Do you know anyone who's ever won the lottery? Do you?
Well, how big we talking?
I'm talking about the lottery would be millions, probably.
You're talking
Yeah.
the jackpot.
Yeah, the jackpot. You know anyone? Really?
No.
No. Okay. My point. My point. Social media probably has enhanced marketing for all these little companies, but nobody's won the jackpot. You know, the guys they hold up that are billionaires out of social media. You know, these are the owners. These are people that control the capital. Jeff Bezos, all the rest of it, right? Amazon controlling, you know, etc. Mark Zuckerberg, whatever, right? The average soul has not made a huge amount of money from the internet, I believe. But
Sure they have.
Who? Who do you know?
Sure they have.
Who do you know?
Because what it is it's not
Gary,
it's not
who-
clicking on
Gary,
the ads. No,
who
it's
do you
not
know?
clicking on. It's not
Who
clicking
do
on.
you-
It's not the revenue.
Who do you know
It is-
personally?
No, you don't understand. That's the problem with you guys. You don't understand. It's not the adverts. You're thinking, click. Oh, I get some money. Click. I click the ad. I get the money. No, that's not it. Clicking the advertisement takes you to the website,
I know, I understand.
which
that.
sells the
No,
product.
No, I
It's just
understand.
like
I understand.
back in your day, maybe you know, your job. You used to pass out flyers, you know,
Yeah,
from a store.
I sold advertising. But I think my point, though, it's not the panacea to the economic ills that are faced by the average person. It's an enhancer. It looks pretty good, but it's not going to solve the crises of money for the average person. That's what I believe. That's all
Well,
I'm
that's
saying.
because advertising is meant for the companies.
But the companies aren't getting richer. The big companies are, I'm sure. I'm sure the big companies are raking it in. But, I mean, the internet originally, as I understand it, was designed, it's going to help little people communicate, little people. It's going to be a breakdown in economic activity.
Well, it
so the
has.
average person.
Well, it has.
But who do you, that's my question.
Well, you're Canadian. You're Canadian, right?
No, but Gary, bear with
No.
me. Who do you, but you're not identifying my point. Who do you know personally who has economically benefited from the internet?
No. Let's step away from that for a little bit.
But why?
Like,
Why?
because I want you to think about something else.
Okay.
So you're Canadian. There was a man, I think he was discovered and became famous because of the internet. What was his name?
Justin Bieber.
This Canadian guy. What's his name? Justin.
Bieber.
Oh yeah, the Biebs, right? Justin Bieber.
But he wasn't discovered. That's wrong. He wasn't discovered because of the internet. That's not true. He was picked up. He was picked up by that famous promoter, and he was brought down to where he was brought down in the States, and he was promoted. It wasn't from the internet originally. That's not correct. I mean, maybe after his records got out, but he wasn't. I mean, that would. I mean, Ed Sheeran did 3 albums. He published 3 albums. Created 3 albums himself, and maybe that has more of a chance. But I think my point here, you know, is that a lot of these movements in history have been a scam. Essentially, the rich have benefited, which they've done here as well. The rich have benefited tremendously, but they let the working classes and the poor individuals believe that this is the road to riches, and it's not. I think it's not. I mean, I don't know anyone who's made a fortune off the internet. A lot of people have tried.
Of course you don't.
But that's
because
the point.
it's your generation. It's not going. It's the young people.
But you don't know
It's
anyone
the young
either.
people.
But I think I ask lots of young people the same question. Nobody
Who
knows.
are you asking?
I ask all the people I experience. I know I run into thousands of people.
Oh, get that? Yeah. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
No, but Gary, you have to identify my point here. The point is that you don't know anyone either who's made a fortune off the internet. I'm sure you don't, because there are very few people who've done this, but they're marketed. We're led to believe that we're going to make a fortune off social media, and I think it's damn hard to do it. I don't think it's easy. I think so. What you're talking about, which is hard work, right? I think inevitably that's the only way you can become, wealthy. And I read that the people that are totally dedicated to their websites, right, and they're on their own, dedicated, and they suffer because they're so dedicated, they have no time to deal with interpersonal relationships, so on and so forth. You know I'm right. And you can dismiss me.
We're talking about different things.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Yeah, we're talking about different things. Because you're talking about the average person on social media doing something like making a YouTube channel or, publishing songs or something and getting rich off of that.
Right.
Becoming an influencer, a sensational
Okay, so what are you talking
sensation.
about?
That's what you're talking about.
Okay.
And getting rich. I agree that to do something like this, it takes a lot of time and dedication and effort to make money off of this, unless you end up getting extremely lucky by some chance.
Okay.
I will agree.
So what are you talking about?
But what I'm talking about is the internet has been a game changer for marketing and advertising,
Sure.
which has allowed people to become successful. That's what I'm talking about. 2 totally different things. For example, in the old days, if you wanted to have a business, company, you'd probably have to have, for example, a store. You wanted to have a shop. you'd have to have a brick and mortar store. You'd have to have a storefront.
Clicks and mortar, I've read the other day.
That's
Yeah,
pretty-
bricks and mortar.
That's pretty good. You'd have to have a shop. You'd have to have inventory on hand. Everything else like this. So you have a lot of overhead expenses,
Okay.
whether you're making profits or not.
Okay.
Paying for electricity,
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Okay. Now you have a
Now,
virtual store.
You have a virtual store, so I can throw anything up on the store, and then if customers come and start buying my product, I can source the inventory.
Sure. I can do
If customers don't want my product, I don't need to have inventory on hand.
that. Okay.
If I just have to pay for web space for a year at a time or whatever, that's it. I don't need to pay for utilities or pay rent. I don't have to worry about the location of the shop because it's right there on the internet. Everyone can view it for across the world. And then with the advertisements, whereas back in the old days, we just print out flyers and give them out to everyone, put them in newspapers.
Well, you bought advertisement.
Yeah.
Right? That was very popular.
And or you can put it on billboard signs or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, it's very limited to people who are going to see that ad, and secondly, the people who do see the ad, they might not even be the people that would be interested in your product. Whereas with online marketing and online advertising, you can cater towards the people who are interested in your products via their search queries and whatnot.
Search engine.
Yeah, and then secondly, it's you just get more eyes viewing it. You know, if you're driving down, if you have a sign on the highway advertising your company or your product, you're limited to people driving down the highway who happen to be looking off the road at that sign at that moment. Whereas with the online advertising, you can have hundreds, thousands, millions of people, looking at your ad and then your company just like that. It's cheaper, it's more efficient.
I doubt. Yeah, I take your point, but I doubt very much that the average person has had, in the so-called gig economy, which is the secondary employment, has really got the time to develop the businesses you're discussing it. So a business you have to be totally dedicated to, right? As you know, like you got to go all in. And I suspect it's the same story as before. Few people take the risk, quit their job, and go all in. Be it if it's in your example of a digital business or a physical business.
Well, if that's the case, they're not making it their job, because the people who do, the companies which succeed, that they're legitimate companies using.
For sure. But many of them are already physical companies, aren't they? They're already physical.
Not
companies.
necessarily.
Oh, like one example.
One example.
Yeah, one example of a digital company out of the blue. That's got, really, I think it's
a digital company out of the blue.
Yeah, I think it's a click. Honestly, I take your point though, but I think it's a click and mortar phenomenon. Like it's a big company, like Carrefour, for instance. Carrefour, Walmart, these huge companies, and they have a huge digital side, right? Right? But I don't think the average person starts out, opens a virtual store, and is successful. I just don't think it works this way. And I've read some people that have, but I don't think it's the average individual myself, right? I think the internet has been a disappointment for many people.
Oh, as I said, I disagree.
Well,
I think so many of these companies are digital only. I really disagree about that.
okay. Well, my son has a company that's digital, of course, so that would be one example. But I mean, I don't know too many other companies. You know many?
Yeah, I have one myself.
Okay, but I mean, but I mean, we're talking about companies that are, streaming millions of dollars, aren't we? I mean, right? Oh,
Well, now we're trying to change the.
No.
We're trying to move the goalposts.
No, we're not. No, I just don't. You see, my point is, and I think my point is that the internet itself has not solved the problems of capitalism, and that's the way it was sold at the beginning. It's going to be the mass equalizer, but immediately it's no longer that. It's the rich and the powerful have used the internet to advance their agenda, and the few working class people, yes, they got involved, and yes, they made some money, great, but that's not been the real case here at all.
But it should be.
It should be.
No.
Should
But if
it
you're not doing that, if it's not doing that, it's not the internet's fault.
Oh.
Maybe it's the fault of the people. Maybe the people who are rich and successful
are smart.
not necessarily that they're smart. Maybe they just
Connected, maybe, let's put it that way.
well, no, I would even say necessarily connected. Maybe they just work harder. Or they
But maybe they're at the right time.
more they're more dedicated.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, we have there's a website, I'm sure you know it, Kickstarter.
Yeah, okay.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if I have an idea and I want to make I don't know. Well, you wear glasses. You know how it can be sometimes if it's raining and then you're in your car and your glasses fog up or whatever, or seam up. So if you want to make glasses with windshield wipers
Wow.
on it, voice activated, so you're not having to fiddle around, press a button, so you can
That's
say,
clever.
you know, like,
Yeah.
clear my glasses, and they wipe it clean. You know, maybe you have this idea, but you don't have the capital to do it.
Okay.
So you can design up a prototype.
Okay. Prospectus, you put it out on Kickstarter and get funding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you, just in your garage or your house or whatever, even if you don't have the money, you can get the funding if people are interested in it, and then you can mass produce it. If people aren't interested in it and you don't get the funding needed, well, then you didn't lose anything either. You didn't lose you didn't lose the shirt off of your back because you weren't investing money into a product that people didn't want.
Okay.
So either way, it's a win-win. You either get the funding you need, risk-free, or you didn't waste your money designing up a product that there's no demand for.
Now, Henry Ford failed how many times before he produced the Model T? Countless times, right? So, is this website you're describing a good thing in a bizarre way? Like, you don't get the funding, the idea is no good, I'm going to stop. I mean, is that good? You know?
No, it's not saying that the idea is good or not good. It's just showing, is there demand or not?
But you create your
It's
demand.
more about
maybe you create your demand. I mean, that's what Ford did. He created the demand, basically, and he failed all those times. So is this a good? I'm just asking a psychological question. You get my point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, is it a good thing that you don't get funding for an idea? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of good ideas that eventually got to the marketplace. People would have thought they were ridiculous at the beginning. You know,
Well, it really depends. It really depends on the person, doesn't it? That some people, maybe after having the failure, they say, okay, I'm out. Other people, they go back to the drawing board. If it were me personally, and I did not get the funding, I would see about doing some market research. Why people aren't interested in the product?
because it's a
Get
bad
some
idea.
get some
Gary. It's a
feedback.
bad idea.
Get some feedback, and then I can decide: is it really a bad idea, or should I just rework a few things and then, I mean, for some of the projects, maybe they're just asking too much money.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be another thing.
So you think the internet is here to stay? You think it's our salvation? Basically, that's your point. It's here to stay, and it's a good thing.
Oh, I don't know about it's here to stay or not. I mean, technology's always changing, so who knows what's coming next? I really can't tell you.
Well, it's kind of but it is an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? Because on the one side, you've got the internet is exposed everyone to everything, basically, right?
Yeah.
And that's caused You know, a lot of social damage, and it's well documented now. Young people are confused by their image, body image, because they see too much pornography.
But young people were confused about that for years.
No, not like, no, I don't think so. Not like this. No, I think it is.
I mean, well, what about
different. This is very different.
even before you said body image, but I know even back, years and years ago, people were worried about, people were becoming anorexic and having body image issues.
But they didn't see 100 million people that were good looking and to reinforce their negativity. I mean, that didn't happen before. They didn't see all this pornography continuously that showed them how a body should look. So I mean, and this is well documented. This is not original thinking on my part at all. The internet has done a lot of damage to people. It's the classic knowledge without wisdom, right? And there's not enough people talking about the dangers of mass indoctrination, in a sense, right? You know, I mean, I take your point that there's always been crises with people, especially with young people, right?
Yeah.
But not like this, apparently. You know, this is overexposed. Guardian newspapers ran a whole series of articles on how young women really, gee.
Yeah, women. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, no, but how young women in Britain, for instance, are, a lot of them have deep issues about their body image because of the pornography they're seeing, right?
In Britain.
Britain, and I'm sure it's the same in the States. I don't think it's any different in your backward country there, right? So I slipped that in. Did you notice it?
My backward country.
That little undercut.
You said my backward country.
You notice that little under. You didn't even respond. Little undercut.
That's because I've been thinking about other things.
Yeah.
Thinking about the ads of government.
I wounded you. I didn't even know I wounded you. You know that's how you take them out. And the weight and they're down a bit.
Simmer down. Calm down.
But
I don't want you to have a heart attack sitting over here. Calm down.
I think I'm well insured.
Calm down.
But you know my point. So coming back to the idea that I think you and I discussed before is that we have to encourage knowledge to lead somewhere. You can't just get data, which is on the internet. It's just streaming trillions of pieces of data. But none of this without an education or without thoughtfulness or mindfulness or call it whatever you like will lead to wisdom, right? It just won't.
Well, it's interesting you say that, though, because if a person does not have, something, if they don't see anything of a higher level, then they're always going to be stuck in mediocrity. So without the internet, something that is of a mediocre level can appear to be really good. I mean, for example, I know 50 years ago, 100 years ago, some people who were studying languages, maybe German, for example, and they can say, in the States, they can say, "Oh, guten Tag, wie geht's, mein Name is blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And they can say a few phrases or whatever, and all the other people in that area will say, "Wow, this guy's really good. He's really fluent." But maybe
the internet shows
he's
them.
mediocre,
Yeah.
and the internet will make it very apparent because it raises the bar, the standard for everyone. So by doing that, okay, you say there's the negative body shaming and things like that, sure. But it raises the bar, the standard, upwards to help people.
Yeah, could be. But once again, it's always the few that benefit. It's always the few, isn't it? It's not the mass amount of humanity is being raised up, I don't think, at all.
Well, I think it depends who you're talking about.
Well, I think the average person is not tremendously benefited from the internet.
Well, I've had. I think I have.
Okay, I have too, but I don't think the average person has.
Well, I think I'm average.
I don't think you're average. No, I don't think you're average. I think you're smart.
No,
right?
well...
Pay me later, by the way, for that statement. Wow.
No, I don't think I'm average. For example, there was a study done maybe around 2018 or so.
Yeah.
We're talking about body image again.
Okay.
And there's a study done around 2018 that said, right now, unfortunately not for ladies, but for men, it said that for men about my age, it said that the preferred body type is the dad bod.
The dad bod.
Yeah. So none of this 6-pack abs or, you know, like, you know, bodybuilder, you know, 0% body fat bollocks. That is the preferred body type for, you know, 30-year-old men.
Right.
Is
the
the dad,
prune
the
shape?
dad bod.
Is that a prune shape? Like a
You know?
prune?
What do you mean?
Like an overweight prune? Like,
You know, like a little bit, like where there's a little bit of definition in your body, where they can tell, a woman can tell, you know, sometimes you work out, you exercise, but yeah, you definitely have a bit of a belly and whatnot.
well, if you exercise, you can't have a belly.
Sure you can.
Oh.
Sure you can.
And do your yoga? And you're going to have a belly?
Well, who does yoga?
I don't believe.
Who does yoga?
I do, I do, for starters.
Well, have you ever looked at cyclists?
Yeah, they're usually very lean.
No. Cyclists are in all shapes and sizes.
Well, then why? What is this? You answer the question. You ask the question and you answer the question.
Well, I just want to see what you'd say.
You know, yeah, right. No, they're not all in shapes. That professional cyclists, the ones I see that.
Oh, I'm not talking
really
about
go
professionals. I'm
cycling.
not talking about professionals.
Well, then what are you talking about?
I'm just talking about cyclists in general.
Well, the guy's got a bicycle at home. He's called a cyclist, and he's got
No.
he's got a gut on him, and he's saying that I got a father body. And what is this nonsense?
No, it's called the dad bod.
The dad.
And
bod.
you know why it's popular? Because
they're lazy.
no, it's not because
They're
they're lazy.
lazy.
It's because it's people who have their priorities in order. Yeah, they have their priorities in order. They work out sometimes.
Like never.
Yeah, they
Never.
know.
They have a membership at a
No,
gym.
come on,
They have
no.
a membership
They
at a
work
gym.
out. They work out sometimes.
That
But they also know how to have a good time, and they also know that they should be doing more in their life than just spending their whole life in the gym. Because the fact of the matter is, a woman at that age, perhaps, I'm not going to speak for you know, for them, but what the study had said was that many women of that age preferred the dad bod because it showed a guy who was more substance.
showed a guy that no other woman would
no,
chase until
no.
he's my husband and he's safe. That's why they prefer it. Nobody's gonna chase him.
Yeah,
He's too
sure. What
fat.
do you mean?
Yeah. I think that you know that what did
So yeah. But anyways, the point is, yeah, the internet helped tons of guys like with builds like mine, helped us to feel good about ourselves. So yeah, the internet's helped tremendous.
I think the internet in this case is just produce an excuse, and it's helped the gym companies tremendously. I'm sure.
No.
The dad bod. Where did you read this nonsense? Gosh.
Well, it's the same thing as like the online ads. You know, as I told you before, you know, making a lot of cheddar.
But you believe
just
this?
sitting there.
Do you honestly? Do you
See,
believe
times
this?
are changing.
No. But do you believe that image is? I mean, I know it's an excuse, but do you believe that it's real? That they prefer? Well, I doubt very much if women prefer this. I don't believe that for a moment.
Yeah, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do. Yeah. Because think about this for a minute. Now think about this for a minute.
I've got a grandfather bot. Their women are just coming to me. Oh no, baby, I'm busy, honey. Keep away. You got to go to him. He's got the dad bod.
Nobody's into that, man.
He's got
Nobody's into that.
They should be. They should be.
Yeah, well, maybe if you got online, you start promoting it. Maybe you could.
Yeah.
Maybe you could work it, right?
I can work it. The grandfather, honey. You need the grandfather body, babe. It's an extraordinary experience, honey. You can't wait. Yeah, we can flash that up, right? You know, could you be my manager to promote me? Could you help me promote me?
But you just told me a little while ago that running these ads that's not successful.
No, you said they're successful.
But you didn't believe me.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the average person.
So you're saying?
No, I didn't. No. I said that the average person. I didn't say they weren't successful. I'm sure some are. I said the average person has not benefited from a marketing standpoint vis-a-vis the internet. And I'm sure that lots of people talk about getting with an online store. You're going to make a fortune with an online store. I think very, very, very few people have benefited this way.
Wait. I need to take this call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow. Alright. Yeah, bye. Sorry.
Not at all.
Yeah, I just had to take the call, run another ad, I got it. Ka-ching, yeah! Get that money coming in.
I don't know if I believe you. Was that a real call? Just a second. I feel a call coming in. Hold on.
Oh, you're just reaching for your water.
Buy more of that stock. Really? Then buy even more. I gotta go. You won't believe it. I just talked to the broker.
Yeah, the broker in your mind.
We're going crazy. You don't know that, just like I don't know.
The broker in your mind. Well, I can show you the receipt right here.
Okay.
Look at this.
Do you know at a stoplight? Do you ever look at the kids or the other people in the cars or the scooters?
No, because I'm paying attention to the traffic. You see? Check that out. Ooh.
Boy, that's a fortune. Did you make that just now?
Yeah, just now.
Wow.
That's a big fortune, isn't it?
Well, you better retire.
Maybe I will.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll be waiting. Send me money to
retire at 40.
Yes,
that's the goal.
But you know what they say? Retirement is death, right? And absolute death. You never want to retire. Honest to God, you want to go to semi-retire. So then you're in control of your time, like me. I mean, I guess I could say I'm retired in that sense. I control my time. I do a contract whether I want to or not. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? I mean, I feel very blessed to be like this, right? But I never want to stop working. Okay, never. I want to go to my grave teaching. Really, I do a writing or whatever. I never want to stop. And they say, I read too many articles that say, live to 100. You got to never retire and keep your teeth. You got to have healthy teeth. They don't have to be beautiful. Just keep them. Because that's a vector for poison. Of course, your mouth. That's the only orifice that we actually have. It's open all the time. So if your mouth is decayed or whatever, you got problems, poison into your esophagus and the rest of it. So I guess the key then is to help people. If you believe what you believe, then it's to help people gain knowledge, gain wisdom, right? I mean, that's the point.
Help people gain wisdom.
You know what I mean? I mean, somehow help them so they can actually stand back. I think the average person, Gary, honest to God, I think the average person today is just overwhelmed. I mean, think of your mom and my mom, okay? They stayed home. They had a family. Their husbands worked, and then there was a sense of stability in the family. High holidays. You remember this? I'm sure, But now I see these poor, frantic women at 5 o'clock. They're rushing home. They got to cook. They got to clean. And and the children are latchkey kids, basically. They're coming home from some school or whatever. And I think it's very hard on a family the way things have ended up. For an advancement, economic advancement, right? It's a difficult time.
Yeah, well, that's why they need to. That's why they got to, take advantage. Like I said, the online. That's the online. See, that's the way for the future.
You're falling asleep on me here.
You're
sleeping. You're drifting off. Are you? Me?
No.
I've been up since 6, exercising, talking, doing all these things, and you falling asleep.
No.
Why are we? Why are we doing these podcasts? Why are we doing it?
The video.
Yeah.
These are videos.
The video casts, the podcasts, whatever they are. Why are we doing them?
Because my father said I had to come over here and talk with him. He didn't understand what I was doing either.
Yeah.
So it's get a job.
Well, I mean, my father too, get a job. But I had a job, and we worked hard. I mean, that was all part of the agenda.
I'm working hard too.
And your digital business.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, you know what?
Hmm.
You see, that maybe that's the problem. At least from my side, from our side. Maybe I speak from other people.
For your generation.
From my generation, or generations younger,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
But the internet for us is a game changer. A game changer.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you guys, you don't understand. You're stuck in your ways. 50 years ago, this is how we did it with physical brick and mortar businesses and advertising and get a job. Real job is, back-breaking work and this and that. But now, for example, I can create an online business, and I can work from my house. If I want to go on holiday to Spain or Japan or something, I could take my laptop with. I can work from there. I could be my own boss, entrepreneur. I can start a business with much less risk because of less overhead. I can even create things, even books. I can publish books via Amazon, for example, print on demand, get it published. Whereas before, we just have to pitch an idea. If they didn't like it, I mean, even think about like the Harry Potter series, where it was rejected how many times before it was accepted. Nowadays, I can just put it up there if I have my idea.
I guess I believe it or not, I understand your point. However, I think that if you're telling me that the internet, I know it's a game changer because you have the post millennials. That's all, they've only grown up with the internet, so it's got to be their reality. Period, right? For sure. And I agree that there are people that are in the dark ages, the Stone Age when it comes to technology. But I doubt very much that the average person, the average wage slave, if I can put it that way, has actually benefited from the internet yet. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think. Maybe in the future, maybe there's a way this will happen in the future, but I don't think so.
No, I see so many.
Like who?
All entrepreneurs.
Like I read this, but do you believe what you read?
I do.
But do you?
I do, because you look at
I suspect a lot of it is just hype. Just like the advertisement we get all the time in our phones. It's just hype. I'm making $1,000 a day, and 10 years ago I was living out of a soup kitchen. Blah blah blah.
If you have to advertise like that, it's fake. No, you don't.
Well,
if you're sending those type of adverts out,
yeah,
it's fake.
you think?
Yeah.
Only fake? Well, no, maybe some.
Because people who are successful, they don't need to be telling other people they're successful.
I agree. But what about all the master classes? I'm always troubled by that as well. The master class series. You always hear about people that are doing their, professional actors and singers and businessmen. They do these master classes on a lot of the sites. Do you believe that? Do you think that's real? Are they really trying to impart knowledge, or is it just another money maker?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's from my perspective. That you guys sometimes you just.
Well, I don't know.
You need to get with the times.
Yeah, I am.
I think
I am with the times. I'm the times. So I don't really like this, this kind of ageism that you're discussing, right? That you guys. So I think we're all individuals, just like you guys are.
Well, see, look at you. What are you doing? You're just sitting there, cutting up your. I don't know, cutting your fingernails or something.
No, I'm just getting the numbers here. Just going to get the number. Just getting that number for my account. GoDaddy account. I don't want to
Wait.
Yeah.
You have a GoDaddy account?
Yeah. No, I think some of this you shouldn't tease about. Some of it's not funny.
You have a GoDaddy account?
Yeah, many. Yeah. So, but you take my point, right? That
wait. Why do you have a GoDaddy account? Really?
Well, you know why? Where are we going with this here? You know why I have a GoDaddy account. I have many accounts in the GoDaddy. Many. I've got 13 websites or something. You know?
You really?
Yeah, of course you know this.
Oh,
No, yeah,
really?
yeah, for sure. So I think
So you're-
I think you're dealing with too much. I think you're dealing with a lot of gross generalizations that you should be careful about. You know, like I think that there is no one body of individual anymore, right? I just don't think they exist. That your generation, this generation, I don't think that exists as people. But I think that across the board, human beings are not benefiting from this technology in the way that you claim they are. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the poverty that we have. We wouldn't have the war. We wouldn't have all these things. It would have brought humanity up to a higher level, and it's failed us. It's failed us. It's brought nothing but more conflict, more animosity, more violence than ever before. And that's related to the internet for sure.
Well,
It's because it's not the internet, is it? It's information. We've been given godlike powers, basically, of knowledge,
Well, you-
without wisdom, right?
you
Basically.
Okay, well, let me stop for a minute. Well, because I'm still trying to just process that. Well, you know what? I'm going to. You know, it pains me to say it.
Mm.
It really does.
That's
but-
it. That's it.
Take some water first. It's really, really. Oh,
I'll have to get. I got a little bit here.
this really, really pains me to say it. Hold on. You know, I've been grossly unfair. I owe you an apology.
What for? Not at all. No,
Yeah,
no.
no,
Why?
I
Why?
owe you an apology
Let's hear it.
for all of those. You're right. You're right. I was being a bit, saying a bit, you know, the things a bit ageism. You're right. I was being grossly unfair. I had no idea you had the GoDaddy, the websites, and you know what?
This is a plot. This is a plot.
No.
Where's the punch in the side of the head here? But
Well,
Gary, I think
I was going to say
yes. Okay. Let's hear it.
before, for a brief fraction of a second,
Mm.
I was going to say, perhaps there is a bit of commonality, you know, between us, despite different generations, and that we could both had something, we could both learn something from the other one to improve both of our knowledge.
Wow, very touching. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna cry now. Hold on. The tears are coming to my eyes. Sorry.
Well, you better get out your hand.
There we are. I have one. I have one. You want to see it? You want to be impressed?
Is it clean or not?
It's always clean. I'm a clean guy. But you know, I take your point. But you know, something I have learned though, I will share this with you. I've learned far more from younger people than I have from older people. And that is the truth. Because younger people are filled with ideas and imagination. And a lot of your ideas that you espouse are nonsense, but at least they're ideas. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so I think I'm convinced as I get older, keep away from old people. Keep away from most of them. Not all. Some are very enlightened, but not all. Some of them want to retire. I'm terrified when I meet people and they look at me and they say, "So when are you going to retire?" I say, "I'm retired." "So which home do you live in?" I say, you know, it's true. Which home do you live in? I live in my home. Why? You don't live in Fairview Slopes or whatever it's called? Do you play bridge on Tuesday and golf on Saturday twice? No. You know some of the retirement homes, you know some of the retirement areas in Canada and the United States, if you're under the age of 55, you can't live there. You know that? And if you're under the age of 55, you can only stay for 3 weeks as part of their part of their agreement when they sell their home, right? It's part of their. is actually part of the real estate agreement. Now you think to yourself, if you go and buy old anything that you buy that's old, do you think it's going to be there in 20 years? Are you excited about old anything? I'm not. Right? Isn't that a horrifying concept that it's the old people that are making themselves old? Right? I don't feel sorry for old people at all. You know, when I look at them with a bulging gut in the eyes and I'm rich but I got nobody to talk to, poor you. Because you've never nurtured those relationships here. You know what I'm saying? I believe. I really do. Like we were talking about earlier. You know, like I have a class of kids, you know, how old, 15? They're just animals. Animals. And I want to quit. But I'm not going to quit. Why? Because in all of this, I'm going to learn something from them. Like, what's creating that type of behavior? Because, my gosh, when I was 15, if you had that kind of behavior, they beat you. It was simple. Sit down. Oh, you know, it was over. Nobody did this at 15. Nobody ran around the room and 15. You know, you're almost married at 15, for God's sakes, right?
Totally different. Like I said, totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different times.
Yeah.
With the, you said about the internet.
Yes, again.
Just to revisit that for a minute.
It's a game changer.
Because that's a whole.
I grant you, it's a game changer.
That's a whole different subject. I think we talked about different times. Getting a bit late here.
Okay.
I need to take care of some of my clients and things. But with the internet,
yeah, it's a game changer.
You said about bringing about things like war and
sure.
This and that.
Absolutely.
I think.
We want to talk about that? I'll talk about that the next time if you want.
Yeah, maybe next time. But
yeah.
Well, I think that yes, it's true, or yes, it could be true. But I think what we're really seeing is not necessarily that it's more, rather just that it's becoming more.
Yeah, it could be more pronounced. You can
more
see it.
Pronounced. You can see it because before
it was hidden.
It was
for
hidden.
Sure. For sure.
Hidden away.
Yeah. But I'll leave you with this thought. You know, I think all knowledge is a wonderful thing if it can be, you know, understood. And a lot of times I just worry that our education now in the modern world is not what it should be relative to all this data. You know, that's all I have to say.
I think. Yeah, I was talking with somebody the other day about education too. Mm-hmm. I think part of the problem with education, schools and stuff now, is because they're not learning the right things.
Yeah. Because
why are we still learning?
Yeah. Things they can look up on the internet.
Well, yeah, actually,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like some of the things that we're spending time to learn. It's important to understand and know, but maybe a passive knowledge is all that's necessary, whereas the rest of the time could be dedicated towards something that would be a bit more useful, more constructive in this
Well, they say
era.
They say the generation before 2000. I was reading this the other day. The generation before 2000 knows nothing of history to speak of, nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't know if that's a good thing in a sense, because I mean, if you don't know your history, I think you don't have any real understanding of Judeo-Christian civilization, which is a very serious issue. As these waves of immigration come upon our land with other religions, other ideologies, you know, I mean, I was once again, I'll leave you with this thought. Second time I'm going to leave you, but this one really troubles me. A lot of people that are coming from other parts of the world to our nations don't have the same view of morality, they don't have the same view of gender equality, etc., that we do. And this is an issue. It just is. You know, it just is. And so can we become a unified people, a Western people from all over the world? Well, I think that's an open question, right? You know, it's an open question.
Yeah, it's very. It's a very complicated situation, I think.
Yeah.
There's so many factors to get into on both sides.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
It's.
I mean, So, good to see you
Alright.
again, sir.
Well, I think I need to get going.
Yeah, you got to make all that millions of dollars tonight. You know, you better hurry.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Say
Okay.
say goodbye. Say goodbye, Gary. Bye, Gary. Say goodbye, Leon.
Bye, Leon.